Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Dustin Callender.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Cagezilla 84 as we move into the lightweight division for the #1 contendership. We're going to start off with Dustin Callender. This 33-year-old fighting out of ground control is currently 1-2, looking to make his mark on the division.
Yeah, excited to see Dustin back inside the Cagezilla cage. And man, I saw him out in the lobby here walking in. This guy looks very focused, very ready to go. And he's up against a tough opponent though. You know, Georgios is coming off a huge win here on our last Cagezilla here in February. One of the weirdest and coolest knockouts I've seen. So Dustin better have dotted all his I's and crossed all his T's, getting ready for this fight. And I know he's coming from a great gym, ground control. I know all the guys there. John Rollo is a great pioneer of the sport that started ground control and started Shogun fights. I fought for Shogun and won for Shogun. I loved fighting for them. Great professional show that they do now live at Maryland Live. And John Rollo just ultimately being a great guy who's on the Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, he's a popular guy now. And for him to create the foundation of ground control in Baltimore, Maryland, just proves that, you know, and he's constantly coming out with new young talent. And Dustin Callender is just one of those guys coming from a great lineage in ground control. So really excited to see him in there. I thought this was a very well-deserving #1 contender fight in the lightweight division. Really excited for this one. Let's send it to Chris to bring out our blue corner.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, is Georgios Spanakis.
Well, we're talking about people making a splash tonight. A lot of big names on the card for this sold-out Cagezilla 84, and Georgios Spanakis is one of those. 26 years old, 5'11", 155 pounds, looking to make his way over for the #1 contendership. He's currently 3-2 out of York MMA.
Yeah, Georgios Spanakis, GS3. Follow him on Instagram, GS3BJJ. He's a great young athlete. I'm a big fan. He had a crazy good knockout on our last card. He was hungry to get back to this position and get to this position, I should say. And all the talent in the world for this guy. Him and some of his training partners. This would make it 3-0. You see Top Gun Robert Sturgill there in his corner. Coming off a big win. Caleb Alger was saying he's been training with him as well. He had a big win tonight, and you know, GS3 got to complete the three-piece here, coming inside for this huge #1 contender lightweight fight.
A lot on the line for both of these fighters. Try to continue to forge a legacy here in Cagezilla. Georgios Spanakis, well on the way to entering into the memory of us all here. Let's see whether or not he can continue his current run against Dustin Callender.
Oh, Callender smiling at him, shaking his head. GS3, serious look. Here we go. Let's throw it to Chris to get it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds, and it will determine the #1 contender for the Cagezilla Lightweight Championship. This bout is brought to you by our friends at Mahana Fresh, positively fresh and positively delicious. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 156 pounds, fighting out of ground control with a record of 1 win and 2 defeats, it's Dustin Callender. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 155 pounds, fighting out of York MMA with a record of 3 wins and 2 defeats, it's Georgios GS3 Spanakis. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three 3-minute rounds. It will determine the number 1 contender for the Cagezilla Lightweight Championship. It is brought to you by Mahana Fresh, and your referee is Gabe Balajit.
Oh, this is the moment we could really feel the tension. These guys looking right at each other across the cage. Both the guys hungry for this lightweight spot, and I don't think either of them are going to budge. Here we go.
Love touch to start us off, and we're immediately into it. I think really for me the big question mark is in the hands of Dustin Callender, how he's going to be able to answer against the oftentimes non-traditional offense of Georgios Spanakis. Talking about some interesting knockouts, talking about just how willing he is to just scrap on all levels. And Callender so far seems game for that. Yeah,
GS3 in our interview on Cagezilla Unchained, he said, I know that Callender likes to stand and bang, and I do too. And I was like, okay, now we're gonna see something good here. But Callender, just as I say that, moving in for a beautiful takedown to get top position here.
Love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it does look like this is solid movement by Georgios Spanakis from below, not just accepting guard, it's really trying to do that butt scoot out, and he's doing a great job of pushing back on the head of Dustin Callender, preventing the leverage necessary for Callender to get into a really solid position where he can just lock down his opponent for the rest of this fight.
So that was a good defense for a short period of time, but ultimately it didn't pay off, and now he's in a dominant position.
Yeah, Callender looking really good, trying to pass that guard, getting a big right hand off, and Spanakis really got to change the pace.
Oh.
Yep, Callender just going to launch right back into it. I thought that the feet on the hips could have been enough to buy enough space, but Georgios Spanakis has found a new angle there, almost trying to go for a bit of a leg triangle to stop that approach. Doesn't get the full denial, though, as we will see Callender yet again just try to push past guard.
Yeah, Georgios staying smart on the ground, but ultimately losing the positional battle, and we all know how that goes on the judges' scorecards. Callender, staying determined, keeping some nice heavy top pressure.
Spanakis is composed though. He's got full guard. He's keeping it there. He looks comfortable, throwing some stuff from the bottom.
Yep. Yeah, no, Spanakis is dedicated. He's trained very well. And just like Callender, I was talking all the good stuff about ground control. They both come from great gyms and great training. And just right now, Callender is winning the position battle. It's really going to come down to that here with 40 seconds left here in the first round.
And think about how this round cascaded from an initial takedown attempt on Dustin Callender's side. I don't think that Spanakis was ready for it. I thought he wanted to stand and bang.
Yeah.
And from that, he just gets blindsided. And while he does navigate the situation, tries to respond nicely, the fact that he is the one getting dumped to begin with means that now he's spending the entirety of the first round getting tired from below, trying to stop this advanced pass guard. And Dustin Callender is game for this right now. Good job trying to bounce off of it. Now going to give a back control. Georgios Spanakis in a tough position, and he may have this rear naked choke locked in.
Oh, look at George changing position.
Good elbows to the head. Either side, dicey situation there to finish us off after the clappers. Showing that Georgios still has a lot of fight in them. I think we really see a very different kind of round number 2.
Yeah, George kind of gave him some elbows, pushed him off. I think he wasn't happy being held down for that first round. Wanted to get some scoring in for good measure, and but I think he does realize he's gonna have to turn this around here in the second and third round.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Now I am very interested to hear what is going on in that corner. What is Georgios Spanakis hearing from his coach out of York MMA? What is he being told in regards to change up of strategy? And how is that going to cascade into now a 1 round on the blue corner side? Dustin Callender looking very good, kind of surprising me in a way, doing such a solid job of getting to advantage versus somebody who, like I said, has quite the reputation now in Cagezilla's lightweight division.
Yeah. Georgios, after that last KO that he had at Cagezilla 83, really got some eyes on him, especially from me being the matchmaker. And I said, hey, I got to give this guy the right opportunity. And he's getting it tonight, but he's not up against a easy opponent. Callender is in fact showed some good grappling dominance there in that first round.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Dustin Callender, I think, feels that the wind is behind him. Needs to try to just launch into another advantageous round. He can taste that #1 contendership. He wants a shot at this. He knows that starting off 1-2, not exactly the best record. He's in a very privileged position to have this opportunity. He needs to make the most of it.
Here we go. These two guys having fun in there, and I think they're going to both try to, like you say, change the tune here in the second round.
I wouldn't be surprised if Callender does try to shoot for another takedown early in this one. But that is the one thing that Georgios Spanakis really has to change around if he wants a shot at this one. And so far, the boxing is going much more his way this time.
Yeah, he's understanding now. He's got to use those strikes. Oh wow, just bad timing there. Bad for George, good for Dustin.
Yep.
And he's in a position for triangle here.
Oh no. Armbar, hoist it up, power slam! Dustin Callender will break it up. Solid reversals on either side, but Georgios Spanakis has not found a way in.
He gave him the Rampage Jackson special right there, but luckily Georgios was smart and was able to just let go and get back to his feet. That was nice. What power from Dustin just to be able to pick him up from that position.
Spanakis, I think, has learned his lesson, though. Can't aim for those head kicks. If Callender can get in under them, get past the range of effect, and from there, go for a takedown. And so now I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more boxing from both of these sides. Another back turn kick from Georgios. A little bit scary. Callender wants to rush past guard here. Now it's going to be a pretty even lockup on either side. If anything, pushing advantage over to Spanakis' side opens up Callender to some knees.
Yeah. And you know what? Georgios has got great striking. I think he's trying to use it, but he's taking one too. And he called it. He said Callender's going to stand in there and bang with him, and he's getting what he bargained for.
Yeah, both sides right now definitely sporting a little bit of damage. This is a very interesting second round as they're contending with one another. I think that after that contact, though, Spanakis is looking a little bit out of it, just ever so slightly, maybe trying to get those stars out, but this could be the opportunity for Callender to really make a mark. There's 1 minute left in this round.
Yeah, I think Georgios is the more crisp striker, but Callender, when he hits you, you're going to feel it. And when he swings with that hip and everything. He gets that body behind it. You don't want to take a hard shot from Callender.
Yeah, Georgios is a striker, but Dustin Callender bangs. Another catch of the foot, smashing it into guard. And now Spanakis is stuck in fetal position, trying to find a way out. Solid perpendicular approach, trying to move into full guard here. Georgios Spanakis in a tough position without a whole lot of places to run to.
Yeah, wow. Callender really catching those kicks. And when you fight a guy who wants to get it to the ground, you're kind of taught, don't give him your leg, right? Don't put your foot in a position where he can catch it. And so far, Callender's passing the test. Nice reversal there to get back to his feet for Georgios.
Yep, he has an opportunity to make a mark. A few seconds left in this one. Almost thought he was going to shoot for a takedown of his own just as a statement maker. Bell will ring before we get anything from that, though. And Brent, that was a very interesting round number 2. I'm just a little bit worried it's still going over to Callender's side.
Yeah, I think GS3's got to be a little frustrated. Never positive how the judges are scoring this, but I think Callender is really showing a little bit of dominance. And he started looking good on the feet even, regardless of the takedowns. He started throwing some heavy hands and heavy leather, and I think Georgios knows he's got to come out here and make a statement here to finalize this round.
And he does have finishing power. We've seen him win by knockout before. He can win by knockout here. Dustin Callender, though, seems very willing to just rush guard, because so far Georgios' striking game plan that we've touted him for in the past isn't quite as clean as I would want it to be. You said he was crisp, and I agree. He's very snappy. He does make good contact. But the thing is, Callender's willing to eat one on the way in. And so far, it isn't like Callender's hurting too bad from doing so.
Yeah, no. I mean, no one's gotten really, really rocked. They've landed some good shots, but Georgios is going to try to put it on the mark here, probably here in this third round, because that's his only option.
Yeah, Spanakis still looking pretty decent in terms of endurance and strength, so I can imagine that either way, this round is going to be very much contested by both sides. If anything, Callender may actually look slightly more winded.
Oh, nice leg kick. Wow, instantly turned red. You see that?
Yep. And that is going to be a mark that Georgios Spanakis could use, but there we go. Another leg pick. Access here by Callender. Good breakup, though, by Georgios Spanakis. Heads up, reads the situation.
Great.
He needs to stop giving a leg to start with, but the fact that he was able to break this up and get back to his favorite striking game plan, where he does have a reach advantage, could be decisive.
Great defense. Yeah, great takedown defense from GS3. But, man, Callender really swinging some heavy leather, too, there on the inside. I want to see both of them get into more of a striking battle because I think it'll get interesting.
Well, there you go. Strikes 1 and 2. Callender trying to push all the way through on that one. Spanakis disengages. Unfortunately, he's going to be tied up around the waist yet again. Could be a worrisome scenario here if he gives too much control away. But actually, he's just going to drop. I don't know what kind of contact was made there, but Gabe Balacha will call it off.
Wow.
And we'll have to see on replay what exactly came from that one. But I think that even Dustin Callender was shocked that he came away with this.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't go down like that, shake your head. And the fighters can't call timeout. This is not a game where you can do that. And the ref had to give it to GS3. I think he hit him with the knuckle right in the eye, and he just couldn't see. I was saying the whole fight, Dustin swinging heavy leather, and if it connects, it connects. I think he's trying to say the thumb went in the eye. Let's see if we can see it here on the replay.
There's the knee, and then, yeah, that did look like a jab towards the eye. I don't think it was necessarily just the thumb going in, but definitely contact, hard contact was made close to that eye socket. And you can see Dustin Callender being like, what happened? A really unfortunate situation to close us out here. It looked like Georgios Spanakis had so much more to give.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see this again.
Here we go in slow motion.
I don't know if he had his hand open. It seemed like GS3 was trying to say that his finger went in his eye. But, you know, I think ultimately Callender was probably up on the scorecards. What do you say, Chris?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think both those rounds went over to Callender's side. Georgios Spanakis doing what he could, had some shining bright spots, but just couldn't answer the ground game.
Yeah, close fight. Georgios will learn from this. He'll get back to it, and definitely excited to have him back because he's such a good, talented, composed fighter. I don't know if a finger went in his eye or what there at the end, but either way, you can't go down like that. You can't call your own timeout, and expert referee Balaji called it right. Let's send it to Chris to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Gabe Balajic has called a stop to the action 1 minute and 20 seconds into the third round. For your winner by TKO, out of the red corner, it's Dustin Callender.
Congratulations to Dustin Callender. I don't think that this is the way that either of these men wanted the fight to end. At the end of the day, Callender happy to get that victory via TKO, but Georgios Spanakis will certainly be back looking for revenge. But congratulations, Callender now going to move into the #1 contender slot.
Like and subscribe to Cagezilla.